Hi there, it's Grace from Julie Vintage. No, I haven't posted anything for ages. Work's been pretty hectic, so I'm just doing a quick video to give you an idea of something that you can make with our Franken boards, those boards where we put all our scraps, which I'll show you shortly. But this is our final result of what we're making. There's some envelopes. And these are actually made using scrapbooking paper that just didn't really appeal to me. And so using them for the inside of these envelopes. So I've got a couple of them here that I've made, which I'm really happy with. And they're really quite simple. So what you will need to create these is, like I said, I used a piece of scrapbooking paper just with white on the back. I was always challenged with these papers with white on the back. What am I going to do with it? So what I'm finding that I create these envelopes and use the printed side as the inside for the envelope. So you'll need one of those. Now I've cut my scrapbooking paper down to 11 by 11, and the reason I did that is because I use this We Are Memory Makers envelope punch, and the largest size on this one is 11.5 by 11.5, so I just rounded it and made it 11 by 11. But you don't have to use one of these, but that's what I find that I tend to use to make my envelope. So basically, I use an envelope maker. We'll be using heaps of scraps of vintage, well, I use vintage paper, so nothing's too small. We'll be throwing those on. You need your glue. I use washi tape and some stencils, which will add a bit of depth onto it. So let's jump in. Those of you who know me know that I'm pretty chaotic with how I put my scrap boards together. You can start from the edge, you can start from the middle, it really doesn't matter. One thing to remember when you're making these is that the center of your page is going to be the center of your envelope. So if you've got something on there that you want to make a focus, for example on this one, I liked this red jigsaw puzzle piece. I put it quite in the center. If you put it right in the center, yeah, you're going to put a tag on top of it, but if you have them around that center. So hope everyone's day is going well. It's early morning, well, not too early, about 7:30 here in Australia, in Brisbane, and I've got a day of work ahead of me, so hence me doing this on a fairly quick video. We're coming up to our school holidays soon. I work at a school, so to me that means having an opportunity to be at work without all the students there, so I actually get some stuff done. So as you can see, I'm just basically working out from the center, which to be honest is unusual for me. I usually start around the edge, but as I said, there's no right or wrong way. What I do when I am near the edge, I actually let the papers overhang a bit, and then when we're finished gluing, I'd go on and stick those down. Some Arabic paper that I've got here to use. This is a great way, obviously, of using all those scraps, because I always say no piece is too small. Whoop, bag, got two sheets there. Put that one on. Actually, these pages are looking a little bit new for me. I'm going to dig down a bit into my pile. Here we go. Some lovely vintage Russian paper. So basically, yeah, just keep adding on until the whole thing's filled. Now I'm not going to make you watch me do that, and I'm not clued up enough to fast forward, so here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so just move you up a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so as you can, I've used bits of scrapbooking paper here and here, magazine paper, okay, just a whole lot of different paper, and I've trimmed it pretty close back to the 11 by 11. So what I like to do, sometimes just fix those edges up, to add some depth to my pages, is random stenciling or stamping, anything just to add a bit of depth. So I'll just whack that on here. This one I'm using is just a Stampin' Up Tip Top Taupe. I find it's quite a sedate one. It doesn't, well, that wasn't too good, was it? Let's try that again. The pads come off, that's okay. We'll do it with fingers and just rub that in. Just various places. Just some grids that I've got going here. Squares. Okay, I'm just going to grab another one of my sponges. Sorry. In here. And whack that on. Okay. And just some lines. So as you can see, they're subtle, but they can be seen, if that makes sense. Go anywhere where there's a bit of white space, I tend to fill it in. And okay, I've also got some Distress Oxide Bundled Sage that I'm going to use. Love this colour. Just change stencils. Okay, and whack this one on. Once again, just a rather subtle approach. Yeah, well, a bit of white, let's cover that up. And over here, hope everyone's day's going well today. As I said, I'm off to work, pretty busy, and in there. Okay, so you could go ahead, do as much or as little as you want, but I also like to just add randomly some washi tape on there. So just find the end of the washi tape, eh? It's always a difficult one to find, isn't it? I don't think this piece wants to get used. No, it's a little bit. And a little bit. Okay, people sometimes say washi tape doesn't stick very well, so if you want to, you can add a bit of glue, but this one I find is pretty good. So I've got some bits and I'm just sticking. Once again, random is the key. And what one? This is the new one that I've got. Lovely. Some vintage images on here. Okay, just random over there, and I might just get one more. Pop that there, and that. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, but if you want to add some more to it, you can. All right. Now, I'm using my envelope punch. I'll look down here and it's telling me for my 11 inch I need to set 4 7/8. So I'll go up here to where the 4 7/8. And it's just a matter of popping it in. And now what you'll find, what I find with this one, since it's bigger than the actual board, I take it off fold it. I'll come back and stick that down again later. So get a fold there. Then I can rotate. Pop it in there and do it again. Like that. Fold. And turn. Whoops. Stick that down. Same here. This one goes a bit off the page. So, fold it. And to there. And take the last side. This here. And fold. Okay, then I like to round my corners. It's totally optional. Oops. And this one. Oh, missed a bit on that. There we go. So I'll move that out of our way. Now going back to my brown or tip-top taupe, and just going around the edges of the sheet and distressing the edges. You might like to use a darker colour. All the way around. Go. Hope everyone's doing okay with this COVID business that's happening. We've been pretty lucky here in Queensland, in Brisbane. We've had a few lockdowns, but nothing like our southern counterparts. So, yes, go that all the way around. Now I also ink the edges of the fold. So I'm doing this a little bit rushed because, like I said, I am supposed to be getting ready for work at the moment. But hey, we have our priorities, don't we? Around here and there. Okay, now I'm just going to grab my glue stick. There's a couple of spots there, as you can see, that are sticking up. Just fold that down. Put a bit of my washi tape there. This one didn't seem to stick over here, so we'll whack that down as well. Okay. So let's have a look. Here. Now, since my papers are all higgledy-piggledy, I'm not really worried about which way is up. But sometimes you might have an image there that you specifically want. I've ended up with one of these down here, and that was a fluke. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it like that. Okay. Just stick that down again. This vintage tape that I've got, it's the first time I've used it, so yes, and it's probably going to be one that I need to be gluing down. Okay, just going to stick these down. A bit of glue on here. You could use double-sided tape if you prefer. Here. Stick that down, and I like how we get a nice inside from our scrapbooking paper, and by the time you've added the paper on top, it's actually quite a thick finish. Okay, so we're going to finish, or we're going to stop gluing it together there. Now if we just go back here, you'll see what I've done is used I was lucky enough to get a postage card, or like a postcard, or a tab with an envelope. Sorry, with an address, my mistake. But you basically can decorate it as you like. Just put that down there for the moment. I do have one here I'm thinking of putting in the middle now. That's a little bit, looks too new to me, so dig around for my scrap of sandpaper. Wrap that around there. Gonna get some darker brown. Just some walnut stain to age around the edge when I can find my sponge. There we go. I think it's about time that I get myself some new inks. I was working out the other day a lot of my inks from my scrapbooking days, and since my youngest boys are now nearly 21 and I started scrapping when they were a baby, that gives away about how old some of this stuff is. Okay, so put that there. Now in the top corner I tried a few ways of putting stamps on there. I've got these little stickers that I got. Now they are from Wish, but they're pretty cool. Some nice little stamps which I used. This one here was just a sticker that I came across in a book. Or what I also use is I have die cut some images out of an encyclopedia. So I'm going to use one of those on this one. And just bought some stamped die cuts, and we're going to whack that up in the top corner. Okay, now this I think I might use some double-sided tape. As you can see, my glue isn't really sticking too well, but I'll fix that up later. Just some double-sided tape here. Feel free at any time to visit my Truly Vintage shop and page on Facebook. As you probably know, I sell a range of vintage papers for people who want to get into junk journaling and that, but maybe don't want to go purchasing a whole book to use a few pages. I put together packs with a variety of pages, so if that's something that interests you, head on over to my Facebook page. Okay, so I'll put that there. Now with all the others as well, kind of lovely vintage photo, so let's have a look in here. Make sure I haven't used her already on them. Got some lovely. Okay, and if you don't have photos, this one I just actually used another vintage image from an encyclopedia. I think so. You don't have to use a photo. Put that one there. So I'm pretty sure you get the gist of how that one's going to turn out. So I'm going to wind us up there. I'll pop these ones back so that you can have a bit of a look. Sometimes you may have noticed, I'll just point out to you, when you fold the vintage paper over, okay, for example here, since this one here is quite old, it has actually torn on the fold. Personally, I don't mind that, but if that does bother you, this one I've actually just run some washi tape over the fold to hold it down. I've also just added some little stickers on there. This one I added a little bit of fabric just to dress it up, so you can go to town on how you decorate them. This one I actually used a bit of a coffee dyed napkin, not napkin, sorry, well I did use a napkin over this side, doily, sorry, mine's going a bit blank. Yeah, So that's what I've done. Now what I'm probably going to do with these, the lovely Sue from Paper Inspirations gave me an idea of actually using my cinch, which is a binder, to actually do some ring binders, just a little bit in here, and then actually use these to hold my ephemera. So I reckon that's a great idea. So that's probably what I'll be doing. So I hope you have enjoyed that. Sorry it was a little bit of a rush and we didn't actually get to finish the product, but as you can see, it's pretty quickly done. Doesn't take long at all. And if you do create your own little scrappy envelope, I'd love to see an image of it. Feel free to pop over onto my Facebook page at Truly Vintage and post some photos. I'd love to see them. Okay, thank you. Bye.